Hi everyone, today we're going to be previewing our next unit by talking about factor pairs and what factors are. So we're going to be creating factor pairs throughout the entire unit, so please jot down a couple of examples here and some information so you can look back at it and be good for the rest of the chapter. So what the heck is a factor? A factor, when I mention that, I'm looking for whole numbers, so not decimals, that you're multiplying together to give you another number. Okay, that's a factor, and so we're creating factor pairs today. Before we do that, I want to make sure you know the difference between a prime number and a composite number. A prime number only has one set of factors, where a composite number has more than one. So when I talk about prime numbers, I'm talking about numbers like 7. The only two numbers you can multiply together to get 7 are 1 and 7. Other examples might be the number 2 only has one set of factors, the number 5, and the number 11. Those are all prime numbers. There's much more composite numbers. An example would be 6. We can get to 6 by doing 1 times 6 or 2 times 3. Okay, so most numbers are composite numbers. Now let's look at creating those factor pairs. So an example might be the number 24. So all the ways we can get to 24, if I ask you to list the pairs, I'm asking you to start with the number 1. 1 times what is 24? Well, 24. Then we're going to move to 2. 2 times 12. Does 3 work? It sure does. 3 times 8. 4 also works. 4 times 6. 5 doesn't work, so I'm not even going to write it down, and then I'm back at 6. Okay? So how did I do that? It's really helpful if you know your facts. I will give you a multiplication chart. But if you don't, you can also go backwards and do division. So if I'm trying to figure out what 2 times what gives me 24, you could always do 24 divided by 2 or 24 divided by 3 and kind of work backwards and do it that way, okay? All right, let's do another one. So the number 60, I'm going to start with 1. 1 times 60, 2 times 30, 3 times 10, 4 also works, 4 times 15, 5 works, 6 works, 7 and 8 give me decimals, so I'm not going to include those in my factor pairs. 9 gives me a decimal, and then I'm back at 10. So I've got all of my factor pairs. Whoopsie, didn't mean to erase. So sorry, everyone. Okay, but these are my factor pairs right here. Okay, so you're only going to write whole numbers that multiply together to give you that number. And that's it, my friends.